What's the difference between the corporate person's standards and the average person's standards when it comes as far as men are concerned?
It's just a culture that's been created.
So how can men get out of that mindset of thinking that they're not enough?
Yeah, it's practice. It's
Yeah.
daily practice of stopping comparing yourself to other people.
Your professional opinion on men and therapy. Is it necessary? Is it not necessary?
So I would say that when it comes to therapy, I think we define therapy based on
This is something that I've learned recently in business and being a man. And you said it earlier too, being able to delegate. I think some of the people who are the best leaders and the ones who run the best businesses, they know their strengths and they know everybody else's strengths and weaknesses as well. And they're able to delegate and say, hey, no, you're good at this. Go do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And most men, I've learned this, they lack two things: confidence and communication. Right. So they're not confident enough to say that, you know what, I know I don't know, but I know what you know, and I need you to go do. Right. And they don't know how to communicate that. So it comes off like very brash and very harsh, you know what I'm saying, and very mean, and not learning how to communicate. Then, like I say, if you say the right thing at the wrong time, the wrong way, it's gonna come off. Especially talking to a black woman. I'm saying black woman. We're talking to a woman in general.
Yeah.
But if you're talking to a black woman who's strong and expects you to be that man, you're getting tons of kickback, right?
Well, we got to do a better job of supporting one another as opposed to ridiculing, right? So I've seen in some groups, particularly like about the black groups, how you black and you don't know how to play spades. I got to take your black card, something like that. I mean, that's kind of important. But other things as far as being a man that you don't know how to do. We shouldn't make fun of them. We shouldn't make fun of if they don't know how to dress, if they haven't learned how to properly groom, they haven't learned how to cook, they don't know how to change an oil. I'll tell you, I know cognitively how to change an oil. Have I done it? No, and I have no problem going to quick oil or somebody to get them to do my stuff or cut grass. I don't cut grass. We have somebody come out, cut grass. You don't cut your own grass? No, I don't cut my own grass. I'm not, although my skin may say that, I'm made for the sun. I'm not made to be outside. And I'm honest about myself, and that's okay. It has nothing to do with who I am. I don't tie other people's expectations or definitions to myself, because it has nothing to do with me. God says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and that's all that matters.
Yes. So is there a standard based on, let's go two different ways, right? Your profession, I'm pretty sure you see a lot of corporate people, right? And then you see your average blue collar person, right? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between the corporate person's standards and the average person's standards when it comes as far as men are concerned? You know what I'm saying? Do you see a difference between the two, like the way somebody in corporate acts and then your average man acts? Is there a difference?
It's just a culture that's been created. So and when you look at somebody who you might say is white collar versus somebody who's blue collar, they really approach everything the same. They just have a different skill set. And so we glamorize the corporate side because they do tend to make more money on the corporate side than on the blue collar side. And we say, oh, well, the guy, with dirt under his fingernails, he's not as sophisticated as the guy who's in the boardroom. Well, the guy in the boardroom is not doing any physical work and have to get the lava soap to wash his hands. Right. On a day. So you're gonna look different, but it doesn't mean he's working any less or that he's less smart. Right. And so it's a perception thing. It's not a real thing, but we buy into it. We think because somebody's have a penthouse on the top floor of the Chevron building that they're this high value person, which that has high value has nothing to do with the material gains. It has to do with your personal character. People twist that around. But
So how this is something that I do on a regular basis, and I use myself as an example. And I always tell people, like, I'm probably one of the best coaches because I use myself a lot. Because it's like, you can't tell me something bad about myself that I haven't already pointed out. And the quote unquote good things about myself is something I'm constantly trying to evolve on, right? You know what I'm saying? So one of the things I battled, like my second book when I wrote, it was like winning about against yourself in my last book. The book before that one was How to Be Happy Coming from a Non-College Graduate, right? Because one of my biggest problems was I never felt like I was successful because I didn't finish under my degrees, right? I got tons of credits, but no, I ain't finished none of them jokes. But one person changed. I'm shout out Eric Thomas right now, because he was like one of my first actual coaches. You know what I'm saying? And so he said something else. So he said, "Bro, you got everything you need. You just not putting it out there, and you're not confident about it, right?" And I know this for a fact. I say I can use myself. It's like, used to always feel like I had to have multiple degrees in order to be successful, in order to do exactly what I'm doing right now, which is most people who hire me and most people who call me, they all have degrees and certain, and licenses and CEOs and so on and so forth, right? So you said something that was key was talking about the culture that's been built with white collar, blue collar, and then the guy who feels like, oh, I don't have the penthouse, so I'm not successful. Or I don't have the big 401k, so I'm not successful. Or I don't have the country club to go to, so I'm not successful. You know what I mean? And I would see me personally, I would look at you and be like, dude, you're massively successful. You know what I mean? So how can men get out of that mindset of thinking that they're not enough just because they don't have the big corporate job or the big salaries or the big country club mindset? How do they get out of that?
Yeah, it's practice. It's daily practice of stopping comparing yourself to other people.
Right.
And you don't know those other people's stories. I've met people who've fallen into money, and you thinking that they work hard, and you're like, no, they're just connected. And that's a lot of people,
right?
Who are just connected. So you don't know their story. The other people who come from humble beginnings,
right?
And they have worked their way up. And so a part of that too is we have to be honest. You can't be at home every day playing video games.
Madden.
Yeah, 8 hours a day.
Right.
Why I'm not making $1 billion? Well, yeah.
I could look at your day and tell you why.
Yeah. You have to be honest with yourself. How much work are you putting in to chase that which you say that you want?
Right. I always say you have to qualify yourself for the thing that you want. You know what I mean? Like if you're not actually doing the work towards getting the thing, don't have an unrealistic expectation. Like I'm gonna get it, and that's what I started talking about lately. Like there's different levels of like manifesting. I'm gonna use the word manifesting because it used to be like speak it into existence, or think and grow rich, speak it into existence. Now manifesting. It was like nobody really harped on the fact that you have to do the work.
Yeah.
Like you could think about it all day. And I keep saying that. I said, man, like I give away meal plans and workout plans all the time. Let me tell you why. Because I know you're not going to do it. You don't have the mindset to actually stick to doing it, right? You got to develop the mindset to say, okay, here's a meal plan. Now you're going to call me back because you didn't stick to that plan. Now you're going to pay me to hold you accountable. And that's why I started thinking that now the mindset now is like, I'm going to give you all the information. We live in an information world. Anything you want to know is there. But if you don't have the mindset to actually do it, it's going to always just be a dream. It's going to always just be there. Good. Let's hop into the one hot topic right quick, because I know we kind of slightly running out of time. And this is something I ain't gonna lie, I kind of hesitated talking about it. Therapy. Yeah. So I'm just giving you my 2 cents on it on purpose. There's a part of me, I have gone to therapy twice in my adult life, right? And I know that is such a cliche. It's a thorn in our ass. Is a caveat. All of those sayings for men, because most men feel like I don't need to go to therapy, right? I'll say this, and please correct me if I'm wrong, or give me your opinion. My personal and slightly professional opinion, based on my experience, is this: I don't think the man who is aware of himself needs to go to therapy. Okay, I just think that man needs to get to work, okay, find value in himself, okay, whether it's in his family, in his money, or in his business, right? Give him something to look forward to, right? And if you don't have any childhood drama, or some anger issues, or some behavior problems, I don't think you need therapy. I think you need a mentor sometime and a coach, right? This is why I was like, I don't technically have to go to therapy again. You know what I'm saying? Once I've been there once or twice. Now I just need mentors. I need people to see me and be honest with me. I like the brutal, hardcore truth, okay? And I understand going to therapy, sometimes you have to pull back those onion peels and so on and so forth and get to the root of the problem. But I think for the most part, most men just suffer from not hearing the truth and not having somebody say, look, stop being an asshole. And start doing this, right? So again, your professional opinion on men and therapy. Is it necessary? Is it not necessary?
So I would say that when it comes to therapy, I think we define therapy based on TV shows. If we've never gone to therapy, we look at a TV show and you see somebody walk in and they have one session and they get everything out and, doc, I'm cured. So, I don't have to go back. And that's not reality. The other part of that is people think that therapy is always pulling back the layers.
Okay.
Sometimes therapy is maintenance in keeping you from falling back.
Right.
And then also therapy isn't always just sitting on somebody's couch, or even if it's your own couch and you're doing it virtually. There are a lot of things that you can do that are therapeutic. You can go, men in the agrarian society, right? They were always participating in therapy because they were spending all day hunting.
Really?
And so they were one with nature. They were getting their physical fitness in, and they were eating natural food, no chemicals or anything. So today it doesn't look like that. So we have to make up for that difference. And so when somebody says that they don't want therapy, they may need to look at how they're defining it and consider that that their perspective it may not be real, and you should try it. And then the other part of that too is we hear that men are bad at communicating. So I saw the stats say women talk like 10,000 words, a day, and men 5,000 words. Well, as somebody who's not only a musician but also have played sports, I can tell you we talk a lot. We talk a lot. When ladies aren't around, we talk a lot.
Right.
We talk about different things.
Right.
We're not going to tell you about the color of the tree that was across the street from the people fighting. But we're going to tell you why we know that MJ's better than LeBron. Sorry, y'all. We go down the stats and we have these these hard-nosed conversations.
Right.
We do talk. We don't have as much practice acknowledging feelings and sharing feelings. And a part of that contributes to why we have high rates of heart disease. As a matter of fact, men commit suicide more than women.
Wow.
And there are a lot of things we have inside of us that we don't get out. And so we have to talk about these things and not just say we're going to talk about it. We have to be intentional about it.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question real quick, because especially when it comes down to health, mental health, and suicide, I don't think many men know that men commit suicide more than women. And something that you said also with holding stuff in internally causes heart disease, aneurysm is another one. So it really is just bottled. What it is like this bottled up anger, bottled up frustration, bottled up.
It manifests. It manifests physically. We don't even like going to the doctor. I just had my colonoscopy and I'm getting ready to go do the other thing. Right. I'm not really excited about it, but I'm more excited about being healthy.
Yeah, so wow. And on the physiological mindset, thinking about what actually happens to your body internally when you hold stuff in. I had a conversation yesterday with a good friend and client of mine. And we were talking about some childhood trauma, things she had dealt with, and I was giving her a massage, and she was like, "Is it actually holding on to her body?" And your body collects, like I said, what was it? Your body collects score on trauma and drama.
Oh yeah, your body keeps score. That book.
Yeah. So that is really, really true. So I was like, man, you can actually release a lot of that by number one, acknowledging it, and then you can do massage therapy and exercise and everything to get that stuff out of your system. So when this is great. So when a lot of men are, and let's just go ahead and say it, if you're overweight, out of shape, unhealthy, heart disease, cholesterol, thyroid, all these different signs that your body's saying, hey, something is wrong with me. So a lot of that, it is your habits, it is your eating, it is your sleeping, things that you're doing and not doing. But a lot of it could also just be holding on to emotional trauma and drama, is what you're saying.